Alright, there's 40 million people who are a lot better at diff building than me on the interballs to show the how-tos, so I don't give a shit about that, I'm not doing it. Just put some primer on the welds I ground off on these, so they're set at the right angle already, so we're happy with that. What I'm going to do now, before I pull the shit apart, I'm going to check and see if this rear surface, this rear gasket surface, is perpendicular to the pinion shaft. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm just going to check it. Just use my angle finder, because then I can use the back of this just to measure the diff angle, which is a lot easier to measure than putting a straight edge across this here. So I'm just going to turn that like that. I'm going to put a straight edge across there and angle find it, and then check with the back. And if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. And that's okay. Just one more thing. I'm going to start pulling this apart. I'm going to crack all the bolts loose first. I'm going to crack loose the pinion. Probably should have done that with the wheels on the ground, but guess what? The car's in pieces, so fucking see how we go. You're right. So that there would be our problem. Now I know that vibration, driveline vibration, can actually cause this to happen, so I kind of got to wonder if that's not what's happened here. You can see also the way this is worn, it's actually quite worn. So it's actually through the case hardening in a bunch of places, and once that happens you're pretty much dead. It's like a lot of little nicks off the top of the here. So obviously it's been maybe where some chunks went through. But that is the major issue there. The entire fucking tooth missing. So my guess is the vibration just split it. As to why it happened, when it happened, I've got no idea. Anyway, in my previous life, before I did what I do now, I actually did bearings. And this is this is the carrier bearing. So you'll notice the angle of the taper on this is quite shallow compared to the pinion bearing. The angle on the taper on this one is much steeper. Well, not much steeper, but steeper enough that it's visibly different. I think from memory these are like 22 degrees angle, I want to say. Maybe less, I don't know. I could check the specs, but there's other ones, and that's because there's a more thrust load on the pinion. So the push-pull of the pinion is considerable, so it has bearings built for higher thrust load than the carriers. So the carriers are over here. Still haven't taken them off. I've got my rad eBay puller kit. I used to sell Sykes Pickavant versions of this, which are $300-400 for a set. This set was $50 off eBay. Just make sure you grease your shaft. The second half of this video is a lot longer coming than the first half. So this is a Borgwarner 78 diff out of like a VS Ute or VNR sedan wagon, sorry. The sedans had IRS in the VR. So this is my old diff over here. As you can see, there is nothing in that. And that is because it is all very small shit. Here it is over here. That's the bit that's blown out. So I thought I had built a V8 Commodore diff, but it was a 6-cylinder one. They're all 308 ratio, and they're all about the same as a Banjo as far as the size of the gears go and the bearings and everything. They're all Banjo, same as a Banjo. So the only thing again is the fine splines, which are less likely to twist off, but they still will twist. Anyone who's had a Banjo course spline play its games, they know what I'm talking about. So what I did was chop this housing. I took about 75mm out of it. It's about 3 inches out. That makes this side actually slightly longer, just slightly longer than the short side. So you can put these in an EH, cut this side down and make a short side, so you've got two short sides. But I found when I tried it ages ago, and it was actually too narrow. In hindsight, I could have just gone with it and fucking run a spacer behind each wheel. Who gives a shit? But here we are. So what I've done is shorten this. So that's been cut. I braced it up, and these are actually the housing in these are, you can see they're pressed in here, pressed into the diff, and then that weld is actually a nickel weld. So you can apparently plasma that out and pull the whole tube out and shorten it back here, but I didn't do that, can't be asked. So this has been cut. I made a sleeve for the inside. You can see it way up in there. There you go, see the edge of it. And so the sleeve actually has, so it's been cut and welded, and the sleeve actually has plug welds into it as well. So that's not going to break. I just took this off the other diff. I cut the side off here. I actually cut a piece of this off and chopped it up to make the sleeve. It's over here somewhere under all this shit. I don't know. There's a lot of shit going everywhere now. There's two diffs in pieces. So what I've basically done is left this one where it was because the angle was right. I spent the time to get the angle right. So I left this one where it was. Used that surface, which we know is 90 degrees to the pinion shaft, because I measured that before and checked it. So I used that surface, and I've gone to that there is about 10 degrees angled this way from the, like from what I would expect to be parallel. It's angled 10 degrees from the pinion angle. So I make that over here. I'll just do this too. I'll show you what else I'm doing. The other thing I'm doing is, long time ago, I built a piece that actually went to Arthur's place and was attached to his differential, which was hilarious. I built a piece to make that torque arm connect that I made. You saw under my car a while ago. So here's the new bit, just here, still drying, a little bit wet. So that sits just there, like that. The bottom of that will mount up to the existing torque arm, and I need to just make a new top link to go from here to the torque arm. Now the advantage of doing this, the old one I had the bottom link here, and I made a mount just here to like sort of stop it from twisting. The problem with that is a diff, when it goes up and down, is square is fine, but if one leg goes up like that, the whole thing actually twists. It's minimal, but it does happen. So that's why there's flex in all the bushes and stuff. So on leaf springs, if one leg goes up, the diff will actually not only go up like that, but it will also turn slightly, and that's because of its position on the leaf springs. It's not much, but that is, part of your shitty steering, bump steering in old cars is part of that. Leaf springs are part of it. It's very minimal amounts, but it is something. And so in between this distance here, between this bush and the old one there would have been a twisting moment sideways like that as well. If I mount these bushes directly above each other, because what I'm looking to take out with them is the twist this way as the diff tries to point for the sky under load or point for the ground under compression, it allows the diff to rotate this way, forward and backwards, left to right, sorry, rotate if one wheel comes up and the diff wants to rotate this way, that'll allow that to happen. Won't fight it and break mounts and shit, which the other one I'm pretty sure would have broken mount eventually. Anyway, I made this new one. I need to make a new linkage from the top of this to the existing arm that I've got. What I'm going to do is just get, look, this is all welded in place. It's fine. I've got some big welds each end, so I'll just clean this up a little bit and then send it to the powder coater, and then we'll get it in the car. I've got to wait 3 odd weeks till I get this custom axle for this side. But I can get the whole thing in the car set up, get the pinion angle checked, and I can get the tail shaft on if it fits. I don't know if it's going to fit. I can just run. There's a flange mount for that for a 2030, which is the rear uni I'm running now. So if I can get that flange and test that, it'll just see, like, I did have some stick out. I had probably an inch and a half. I just don't know how much extra space having the flange and then the pinion bolted to and then the uni mount bolted to that flange makes a difference in the overall length. Also, this diff, bigger, beefier, might have a longer pinion to axle center dimension than the old one. So it's possible I'm going to have a tail shaft shortened. I've already lined up a guy locally who can do that. He'll just reuse my yokes, and we'll just shorten, take whatever we need to take out of it to make it work. So this way I can get it all in the car mounted happy, check the pinion angle, and make sure everything sits right before I bolt it all back together, because these things are fucking heavy once you put 2 axles in them. And oh, I also get these pads, which is cool because it means I can run a rear anti-roll bar, rear sway bar, which I haven't run before, but I'll probably, I don't know, I might as well put it on. I'm here, might as well do it, eh? Right, so this is weeks later, and it's going to be another few weeks again until this vid actually gets on the interballs. Fucking pain in the ass. Well, fucking righto. So saddles are welded on, measured, angled, everything. That's been powder coated. I also did the bit of cleanup on that as well. I just started building this top arm for the steady for the diff. So I've just got the old bit cut off the other diff, and just used it to, you know, make a top link for the top half of the torque link. So the bottom half goes from here and through straight. My plan is just to put a bolt up here through the thing, so it'll allow for it to come up and down as you adjust this, but it doesn't need to move, so it doesn't have to have a bush in it or anything like that. Once it's set, it can be bolted hard. This is happy. There's no all the movement occurs in this end here. That shouldn't need to flex up and down with movement, at least fuck all if it does. So this is just going to be, keep this as low profile as possible to like level with the top of the diff, so it's not going to hit up in anything, and we'll just stick in there and see how it goes. I am going to run into trouble 100% with the brake line, so I'm going to have to figure something out with that just to dodge under this thing, but that's okay, it's easy enough to do. Yeah, I think that's it for now. What I'll do is put this back in the car, sit it in there, and check the angle, use the angle finder and just check that the diff's at the right angle, or close enough that I can pull it up or down using this. And then I'm just hanging out for that axle to turn up. Axle for this side. So it comes all assembled, ready to go. Chromoly, I'll never break it again in my entire life. I want to clean this out a little. It does, I don't know how it's supposed to feel, but it feels like this came out of a car, but it feels tight here. I don't know if what sort of drag that should have on it though. So what do I know, you know? Could be anything, could be fine. Feels just like it requires, it feels tight. But it came out, oil poured out. Oh, what I would like to do too, this is the cover of the bogie. What I would like to do is these, I don't know if that can take a bolt or not. I need to punch it out and see what's left of it. They're shitty, just a rubber thing, not really conducive to doing your maintenance properly. So I've got the cover from the old diff around somewhere in this shit somewhere. So I might see if I can cut the bolt out of it and weld it in. This one can go into the scrap bin. What I am going to do is belt the race out. I keep those cups and cones because they're good to use for pressing other stuff on and off. Nice round and, you know, good material. There's one down there. I'll also keep these just because reasons. Right, that's all, bye. Well, here we are again. My freshly powder coated diff has been put in. It does have to come back out again, so I can make sure it's all clean on the inside before I fill it full of oil, etc. I left it empty, left all the axles out of it because it's a lot lighter. Still fucking heavy though. Here's my problem now. So, pinion angle's perfect. I'm really happy with it. I'm at, well, with the car in this orientation, I'm at 1 degree. 1 degree at both ends. I don't know what the difference is, what the angle of the shaft is. I can check that right now actually, but have a look at this. This is my problem. That is bottomed in the gearbox at that end, and it's 5mm clear of that flange at that end. That is not enough. I need more. Maybe if I could replace this with a normal yoke, I might be alright, but there's still just not enough, wouldn't be enough clearance to the bolt, I think, and I don't want to undo this, I want to just keep it. So what I'm going to do is take this to my local drive shaft guy. So I put a VL Commodore yoke on this end that mates to this flange and fits a 2030 uni, because that's 2030 instead of a 2038 like a normal Commodore. Other ends are 2038 of course, because reasons. And then he'll fit that to that, make that happy, and then shorten the shaft to suit as well. So what I'm going to do right now is I need to measure from the, up in there if you can see it, the drive shaft. I need to measure the distance from this flange to the seal face. That's what he wants. So I'm going to measure that with a measuring stick. See what I get. I reckon we need to take probably 30mm off this. Anyway, another thing I'm going to do while this is sitting, so this is actually supported now by the diff. It's still on the stands, but the diff's pulled up into position. I'm just going to check my torque arm, see how it fits, because I've got this feeling I'm going to have to actually modify it, because it's been made to sort of sit at a bit of an angle, like not square up and down, sits at a bit of an angle, so I might need to change the end of it to sit square up and down so it can meet with both of these. Anyway, I'll sit that in spot and we'll have a look and see where it sits. What have we got in the way? So this mount here might need to move. Just, I can bend it anyway. Just bend it this way a bit. Hook it around this closer to the shock. But keep it off of this plane, because that's top there of the mount. And the linkage is going to come out and down here. Now this could be a problem too. Might need to trim that or re-drill it and just shift it up a little bit. This is what happens when you modify shit. Everything fucking changes. Alright, we'll see how we go. Okay. Time for an unboxing video. Axle fits in there and everything's cool. Then all that comes out, I clean it out, lube it to put it back in, and I get the car back on the road again. Phew. But we get a quick look. Here's how much difference between the long and short side. So that's a short side axle standard, and I'm that much longer. That's it. That's the only difference. It's fuck all, but it's just enough to get the tyre set right. In hindsight, I probably could have short-sided this and then just used spacers, but I've done this. It's done. It's paid for. It's going in. You can see how good that axle is. It's like amazing. It comes with like brand new studs, new bearing already fitted for me, so I didn't have to fuck with any of that. It's great. Looks like they used the 1-ton lock ring. So these bearings are the same as the in the vans, everything, as they are in the HQ utes and such, and in the HQs they use this wider lock ring. So that's a standard lock ring, like out of VN Commodore or any standard Kingswood. Any of those is a U298 bearing, and that's the wide lock ring off the 1-tonners. So they've used a wide one for this, which is neither here nor there to me. This axle, I'll clean it all up and throw it back in. The other side, the race is already in the other side. It's pretty typical of the race to be left in there. I pulled it out of this side, so it's ready for an entirely new bearing, but the race can just stay in that other side. Pull it out and hopefully that doesn't grumble. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked with that. So just going to throw it all together. First of all, this diff has to come out again, and I'm going to hose it out, make sure there's no swath in it from any of the work that I've done. And then, yeah, lube everything up and throw it all in. We're good to go. Let's see, the whole axle is actually lighter. It's skinnier, but it's stronger. That's billet. That's a billet axle in there. Just way stronger than the cast ones, or forged ones, or whatever they are. Pretty amazing. Great work from the team up there at Fish Crew. Awesome, really good work. Knew straight away what I was after, and it fits perfectly, based even with my bodgy measurements. Well, I've had just about as much of this shit as I can handle for now. Let me show you what I did. So, I've just been doing a final check of the mount for the torque arm. It's in place, it's happy. Top link now attaches to the bottom one with just a bolt there, so that's just done up tight. I haven't done this one up yet because I'm lazy and the sockets are over there. I just need to forgot to get a gasket for the diff, so I can't put the cover on, but the cover's still drying anyway. I painted it up. All the brakes are in place, everything looks like it's good. I modified this just to include the mount for the distribution block for the rear brakes, so I think I can just undo this bolt and undo these two in here and then move this forward and just slide the cover in behind it. I don't think I should be able to actually shift this whole thing that way and just set it and it'll be out of the way. I welded the bunger for the old diff. I welded the bunger into the cover for this diff because Borg 78s just have this rubber thing that plugs in them and I don't like it, so I changed it. So it just gives me an old school bolt that's threaded, you know, normal shit. Run a little bit of sealant on him and send him home, but I just want to get a gasket for this because I don't have a gasket for it. I don't really want to do it with just sealant, just because I don't know, I might have to take this all apart again very shortly if the bearings in this bad boy are buggered. I don't think they're grindy, but it's just in my brain, so we'll see what happens. I just hope whatever noise this fucking thing makes after I'm done with all this, it's a different one. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all done. You can tell which one's got the near flash axle in it.